WPRI Channel 12 News reporting that the blaze on Tremont Street was reported at around 11:45 a.m. Fire personnel were able to quickly put it out. A department spokesperson said goats and chickens were kept on one side of the barn. The other half was used as storage. While all of the goats survived, a number of chickens perished. There were no reported injuries to firefighters or to the residents. The cause of that blaze is under investigation. In sports, let's see. The Boston Celtics rolled past the Chicago Bulls 124-105 on Wednesday night. It was the final game for both teams before the NBA All-Star break, the 75th NBA All-Star game competition. They got a whole weekend of stuff going on, but they're going to be doing some competitions, I guess. It's set for 5 p.m. this Sunday at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. It'll be airing on NBC and Peacock. The all-star schedules of all major sports are getting pretty funky. In college hoops, Seton Hall defeated Providence College 87-80 on Wednesday night at the Prudential Center down in New Jersey. PC takes on St. John's at the AMP tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Hey, the Boston Red Sox have their first full squad workout scheduled for this Sunday at Fenway South. They open their spring training schedule with a traditional game against Northeastern University at JetBlue Park a week from today. That's next Friday, 1:05 p.m. Now the forecast from the National Weather Service going into the long President's Day weekend. Finally here. For today, sunshine, highs in the mid-30s. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, partly cloudy, lows in the upper teens. Saturday, mostly sunny, highs in the upper 30s. Saturday night, clear and another chilly one, lows around 17 above. Sunday, sunny, a high near 36. And for President's Day on Monday, mostly sunny and a high near 41 degrees. Headlines, presented by Morton Hospital in Taunton. It's a part of Brown University Health.
The future is bright at Morton Hospital, now proudly part of Brown University Health. This change welcomes a new chapter for our community, one where Morton is empowered to truly shine. As a part of Brown University Health, Morton can continue to provide the trusted care you depend on, supported by leading science that lights the way. Still local, now limitless. Morton Hospital is now part of Brown University Health.
Okay, one more commercial, and then get going with our program.
WVBF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and it allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WVBF, and 99.7 FM.
305.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Okay, let's see. 10.
It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106. Send your community announcements.
Oh, yeah. There's some better. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Hometown Talk. It's the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. We have a great show planned for you today. 9:35 a.m. this morning, we have Thomas White, Select Board member. He'll be calling in. We'll be talking about a couple of different things with him. I'm sure we'll be talking about town manager a little bit. The election's coming up, and much more with him at 9:35 a.m. this morning. At 10:35 a.m. this morning, Kelly McDonald Weeks from Soul Homestead in Middleborough will be talking with her about some of the events coming up for next week's February vacation. We'll be talking with her on that as well. And there's some other events going on between now and April vacation as well. We have the Earth Day stuff, backyard bird counting as well. There'll be an event with that. So we'll be talking about all sorts of different events with Kelly McDonald Weeks of Soul Homestead at 10:35 a.m. this morning. Your phone calls, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 between those times. As well, if you have something that you want to get into and talk about today, this weekend is the big auto racing weekend. It is the Daytona 500 this weekend. We'll be talking about that a little bit in our sports. We'll be talking about some Red Sox as well. Finally, getting into some Red Sox here. As they get their workouts underway and their practices underway this Sunday. Spring training pretty much opens up the workouts there, pretty much opens up coming up here on the 15th on Sunday. And then the first game will be against Northeastern, and that will be on the 20th of February, 1 week from today. I believe that game gets underway at 1 o'clock. I believe that is when that game gets underway. And then the following day after that, they will start their Grapefruit League schedule. There we go. Grapefruit League schedule. And that will be against, I believe it's going to be against the Twins. I'll double check that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. But open phone lines, 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106. So here's some things here I want to get to. There's some things I definitely want to make sure we get to here. First off, some things going on around the Middleborough and Lakeville area this week. Sunday. Musician, historian, musical historian, there we go, and singer John Morelli and pianist Chris Morris are returning to Middleborough to present Spotlight on the Gershwin Brothers on Sunday, February 15th at 2 p.m. The duo will perform a free concert at the Grand Ballroom of the Middleborough Town Hall. One of these events, as I just mentioned as well, there'll be a backyard bird count on Monday, February 16th. We'll wait to talk about that until we talk with Kelly McDonald Weeks in the second hour. On Tuesday, February 17th in Lakeville, all older adults are invited to attend the February meeting of the Seniors and Law Enforcement Together Council at the Lakeville Council on Aging. The council meeting that will be on Tuesday, February 17th at 10 a.m. People can sign up by calling the COA at 508-947-7224. So there you go. Wanted to make sure we talked about those events there. There's a couple of really big things as well to talk about here in Middleborough. And they are very big things. Has to do with the town manager as well. There is now a new interim town manager. We're going to talk about that as well. Middleborough will be looking for a new superintendent of schools as well, and also there continues to be some big things happening with the Middleborough Library. So we're talking about that as well. Another event coming up as well, and this is going to be on not this Sunday, but next Sunday. The First Unitarian Universalist Church of Middleborough. They'll host the Little Songbook Opera group for a food-themed musical performance this month. The church that will host food and music themed event called La Bonnie Cuisine, where 8 classical opera artists will perform a free concert while participants enjoy a menu of music-themed meals. The church asks attendees to donate a food pantry item to serve as a ticket for the event. The show takes place on February 22nd, next Sunday, at the Middleborough Church, which is located at 25 South Main Street. The Little Songbook Opera, that's a Boston-based organization that hosts concerts aimed at making music fun, accessible, and meaningful. The event will feature works like Bach's Coffee Cantata, Bernstein's La Bonnie Cuisine, Bernier's La Café, and the premiere of Kevin Lubin's new opera, The Perfect Chalaya. The event is for all ages. All food items collected will go to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry. Their greatest donation needs are pasta sauce, ramen noodles, and canned vegetables. Again, that event is next Sunday at 2 p.m. next Sunday afternoon. So there you go. There. All right, 9:17 a.m. Let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll be talking about some of the big stories there. And also, we might also talk about these stories again a little bit in the next segment too. But definitely we'll be talking about a couple of these here throughout the show as well. Your phone calls, 508-822-1106. We'll be getting into our sports a little bit later on, probably in the second hour. We'll talk about NASCAR a little bit. We'll talk about the Red Sox. The Celtics, they're going to be off of my radar for a couple of days. They did just win against Chicago. They are on their All-Star break. I will not be watching any of the All-Star festivities. My thoughts on the NBA All-Star festivities are the same as they are for the Pro Bowl. I do not enjoy it. I would like to see it either revert back to the original way they were doing things or get rid of it altogether. That's my opinion on it. The only All-Star related thing I seem to enjoy a little bit is the thing that they do for, at least I did it last year. Hopefully it comes back. They don't, go back to the All-Star game for this either. But NHL's Four Nations last year was very entertaining. This year they're not really doing an All-Star game because they are at the Olympics this year. So we'll actually give an update on the Olympics as well and what the medal count is as well. So we'll have all that later on in our sports segment. I don't think we're going to be able to get to transportation today. Not a lot of big stories in transportation. I will mention that there was an unveiling of the new trains that will be going across the Pacific Northwest pretty soon. The new trains there for Amtrak. There was an unveiling of that. Saw that online this week. So, right maybe we'll briefly talk about that. Maybe we will have a transportation topic in the second hour. Briefly talk about that as well, because it was a pretty big story there. So let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the other big stories going on in and around Middleborough and in and around the area as well. We'll be right back. All right, 4:40.
That I had macular degeneration. It was really scary. I mean, my eyes are not living. What's most important for me to see? My family, my loved ones, my pickleball game, everything I do is dependent upon my vision.
Being able to see, being able to spend time with my children, be able to travel is extremely important. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have my vision. Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule a comprehensive eye exam to protect your sight.
Macular Degeneration Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Go to stopamd.org to learn more.
Okay. Three, 2, 1, 0. And we're back here on Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. And I got to get into this story a little bit. I know that we're sure that's been talked about a little bit here over the past couple of days, but and we talked about it this morning. But how does anyone let this happen? A new rug in the Rhode Island State House has somehow got the seal of approval despite having the wrong seal. Again, how does that happen? And they spent $70,000 on this mistake. Wow. It's ridiculous. Installed on February 2nd on the second floor stateroom floor. It is located next to the governor's office and is often the setting for news conferences and ceremonial events. So everyone gets to see this mistake. Everyone who, there was a news conference set for that day or a day or two after that before this was fixed, they got to see that mistake on TV. This just adds to the really tough time Rhode Island seems to be having with the press. It seems like the press and the news coming out of the state of Rhode Island, especially with the Washington bridge there. So, I mean, this just adds to it. And that's just unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But again, how do you let that happen? $70,000 as well. That's a really costly mistake. Good on Ocean State Job Lot, though. They stepped up, and those inaccurate seals have been covered by round area rugs. They have $110 price tags from Ocean State Job Lot. Again, wow. Okay. But good on Ocean State Job Lot there. We're helping out the state of Rhode Island there a little bit. Anyway, what is your thoughts on that? 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number. I find that to be wild that happened. Yes, mistakes do happen, but this was a pretty costly mistake for Rhode Island. $70,000 there. That's not a small thing. It's not a small amount there. Okay, let's move over to our talk a little bit about our blood drives real quick. We have a couple of blood drives coming up here for the month of February here as we move towards the second half of February now, starting pretty much tomorrow. Saturday, February the 14th, there will be a blood drive at the Lakeville United Church of Christ, 1 Precinct Street, Lakeville, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. And then 2 weeks from tomorrow, Saturday, February the 28th, at the Tri-Town Masonic Lodge, 38 Franklin Street in East Bridgewater, 7 a.m. to noon for that blood drive. So I always like to mention blood drives. Always like to talk about them when I get a chance to, especially now as the Red Cross has been talking about a low supply of blood and needing blood from every community there. So if you're able to go out and give blood, either at these events or if you're unable to make these events, there are blood donation centers in Kingston and in Rainham. You can go to those places as well to give blood if you're able to. I know that I mentioned this a few times, but a couple of years ago they changed some of the guidelines as to who can give blood as well. So that is a pretty big thing too. All right, well, I wanted to definitely talk about blood drives, as we will continue to do so as well, at least once a week here on any of my shows. And I'm sure that they're also talked about during the morning wake up news as well, when blood drives also pop up from time to time as well. Plenty of things going on with that. All right, couple of minutes here before the 9:30 break. I wanted to talk about the first look that everyone got for the new trains that are out there. It is very interesting. I saw a video on this. I'm trying to get an article on it. I saw a video on this. I'm getting the name of the train. I'm trying to get an article for it. Let's take a commercial break. Let's talk about these trains later when I can get an article up a little bit talking about them. Do that. These are really nice trains, by the way. And these are for the Pacific Northwest, not for the Northeast. There are trains that they will be introducing for the Northeast as well here in the coming years. But these trains are going to be in service sometime later on this year, and it's for the Pacific Northwest. And these are really nice looking trains. I've seen them, the inside of them, for videos that have been put out on them. They had an event for it this week, I believe it was. Very, very nice, very, very impressive trains. The Pacific Northwest, you're very, very lucky. You're getting some nice trains for sure. All right, let's take our news break. When we come back, we will have Thomas White be joining us via the phone lines, and we'll get into this story about the new trains here. Probably in the second hour, between the first half of the second hour there. And we'll do our sports in the second hour as well. We got some interesting stuff with our sports coming up as well. All right, we're going to take our news break. We will be right back after the news with Thomas White. It's the Cascades. I don't know why I forgot about that. The Aero Trains. Anyway, well, that's what it is. It's Aero Train. Yeah, it's Cascade. I don't know why I forgot about that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. 9:30.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ed Thomason. Inflation continues to cool, falling to a near 5-year low. The government's newly released consumer price report shows that prices rose less than expected last month. Inflation fell to 2.4% in January compared with a year ago, down from 2.7% in December. A second U.S. aircraft carrier is being sent to the Middle East. Tensions with Iran run high.
The USS Gerald R. Ford has been ordered to sail from the Caribbean Sea to the Mideast. It's the world's largest aircraft carrier, and its deployment comes as President Trump considers whether to take possible military action against Iran. The Pentagon has been sending warships to the region as the White House increases pressure on Iran to make a deal over its nuclear program. Greg Clugston, Washington.
More than a person of interest, that masked and armed man captured on video on Nancy Guthrie's front porch is now considered a suspect in the 84-year-old's disappearance. Members of the public being urged to provide any tips could prove useful in the ongoing investigation. A crew of 4 is headed to the International Space Station.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and the liftoff. Go Falcon, go Dragon, and Godspeed Crew 12.
The U.S., French, and Russian astronauts are replacing the astronauts who cut their mission short last month in NASA's first medical evacuation. The new crew's mission is expected to last 8 to 9 months. They should be arriving at the orbiting lab on Saturday.
TSA employees will not get paid. FEMA will be affected as well when a partial government shutdown hits at midnight. Congress has failed to agree on a funding package for the Department of Homeland Security. The Dow futures are down 10 points. NASDAQ futures off 1 point. More on these stories, townhall.com.
You know, it's tough to know who to trust with your health. There is always some new miracle supplement out there, another influencer telling you this is the answer. 25 years ago, a friend of mine, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, saw the nutritional value in our food decline. He created something called Texas Superfood, not for fame or social media buzz, but to genuinely help people get the nutrition they need. 55 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables specifically selected for maximum nutritional value, plus enzymes and probiotics, all in one simple solution. Customers really feel the difference in about 7 days. More energy all day long, mental clarity instead of brain fog, better sleep, just feeling better about their health and their life. Over 1 million bottles sold, not because of fancy marketing, but because real results create loyal customers. Mix the powder in your morning smoothie or take capsules on the go. Go to TexasSuperfood.com. Use the discount code Mike G to get 35% off your first order. Plus, there's a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's TexasSuperfood.com. Discount code Mike G.
The latest friction between North and South Korea has to do with drone flights from the south into the north. Flights by private operators not sanctioned by Seoul, which condemns the flights and is apologizing.
North Korean leader's powerful sister, Kim Yo-jong, said she appreciated South Korea's words, but she demanded further action to prevent a repeat intrusion. Last month, South Korea launched a police investigation into the drone incident. They raided the civilian suspect's home and office, as well as the spy agency and the military intelligence unit. So far, Seoul has denied any official involvement. The previous government in Seoul had used drones to drop leaflets over North Korea, but the new government has been trying to mend its relationship with Pyongyang.
That's the BBC's Jay Kwan. A who's who of international diplomacy, Secretary of State Rubio among those attending the Munich Security Conference. Townhall.com. Apple's lockdown mode is coming under scrutiny after